Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. Good morning, Tony. How are you?
I am well. Good morning, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've got a little froggy friend here with a soccer ball. I thought was cute. My friend Sophia is letting me borrow it for today.
Awesome. That is awesome. I was going to comment on that because it looks really cool sitting there next to you.
Thanks.
And where are you?
I am up in Northern California, out in the forest at a friend's house in the forest.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Well, Happy New Year. First recording of 2021.
Yes. It's a little bit weird, also exciting. And hopefully this new year to come will be full of some really great positive things. And I know we talked about last time here on the Tiff and Tony Show how we can have gratitude for the not yet, cultivating a positivity that can help us do the steps we need to do to move forward and achieve our goals and become our best selves and grow in all of the healthy ways. Today, we are going to talk about how we can do that on a micro scale. What does that look like for us to do that on a daily basis? What do you think?
Creating this pattern of thinking about your thinking. There's a scientific word for it. It's called metacognition. It's when we are aware of kind of what's going on in here. We're actually thinking about the thinking. One of the issues that we have is that our thoughts create our emotions, which then creates our interaction with the world. And so if you and I have a bad relationship, and I start communicating with you, my thought is already, oh yeah, I don't like this person because last time we spoke, they said X, Y, and Z, which has already created that emotion within me. And so now my body is automatically living in the past. And so my conversation and communication with you is now one of something based in the past. And so I'm going to react and respond that way. And it's a natural human behavior. We all do it. But we can stop that by being aware of our thinking. The same is true, by the way, on the positive side of things. If we've got a positive relationship, which we do, my thinking is great. I get to talk to Tiffany again and I'm happy and away we go. What we're trying to do now is go into that thinking and change it before it creates the emotion. Ton of practice in our thinking. We want to try and start small. We've talked about tiny habits before. I've got a tiny habit that I start every day with, which is when I get up in the morning, I just say, today is going to be a great day. And what that does is it reframes my thinking immediately to a positive state. So now I can actually start that thinking process. Does that all make sense?
It makes sense, yes. I am contemplating for myself and for our viewers out there what that looks like to cultivate those types of habits and on a daily basis on this micro scale. What are some tools that we can put into practice, whether it's, like you said, committing to every morning before my feet touch the ground or before my head leaves my pillow getting up in the morning that I think a positive thought, or I encourage myself, or I jot down one sentence in my journal, anything like that. What could we do to start practicing this? And how long do you think it'll take until we start noticing a difference?
That's a really good question. The habit is always to stop and think. We've actually got this within Pure Game, right? We've got a STAR acronym, which stands for stop, think, act, and reflect. And it's this teaching of no matter what you're doing, the act of stopping creates time, and that time creates the opportunity for you to think before you act. If we can create the space in whatever we're doing to just take a second or two to stop and create a thought about where we're going, then we can be aware of our thinking, which will then turn up in our actions. The reflection is to look back as to what's working and what's not working right. In the tiny habits model, there's a celebration that goes in there because the the brain has the endorphins of joy and celebration and all of that stuff that goes on. When you celebrate, you actually recreate and release those endorphins. So your brain says, oh, wow, I want to do that again, right? It's that victory. If we stop and think and then celebrate there, just a tiny little, yay, well done, a victory, say something, then our brain goes, oh, I want to do that again. Oh, let's do that again. And so it continues to grow and develop this little habit of stopping and thinking before you enter any given situation. Talk to people, go to work, go to class. If you're a teenager at school and you know that you don't like history, immediately you're closing yourself down before you've even gone into the classroom. Well, what would it look like if you stopped before you got there, changed your thought to say, I get to learn today, and then give yourself a little victory, and then go into the class and your brain is now open for learning. That's how to do it. How long it takes? It can take as short as a couple of days. If you celebrate and do it often enough, it might take longer, depending on how challenging the situation is that you're walking into.
I love this conversation because it reminds me of what we cultivate here at Pure Game. And it's not necessarily a buzzword that we tend to use often. It's intentionality, living intentionally, being intentional with our thoughts and our actions and how we react to situations, and approaching life wanting to engage and wanting to grow. Part of the building the habits is not just going through the motion. It's quote unquote easy to go through the motions and follow the rules and then get to the end of the so-called process and be like, oh yeah, I think I got that habit down. And then not really actually caring about the process and caring about the outcome. I think when we approach growth with a mindset of complete desire to grow and become better, loving, helping humans towards ourselves and others, we gain the capacity to really change our character in positive ways. And it's not this surface level going through life as a good person. It's, oh no, like our hearts and brains are literally rewiring us for growth and health.
It can be done as simply as changing a statement that you make. That little act of stopping, creating enough time to say, today is going to be a great day. That little act there, as you said, rewires some brain circuitry in there, and then suddenly show up a little bit more positively. And when you show up in that positive mindset, then you attract positivity back to you, and things do get better, and the day does turn out to be a great day because you set it up that way.
And that doesn't mean that our circumstances will always match those statements that we say, because we don't have control many times of our external circumstances. What that positivity can do is help us get through some unexpected challenges in our day with that gusto to keep moving forward.
I've got a best self journal. It's awesome, and I'm going to use it and share as much of this as I can. One of the quotes is, believe that you can and you're halfway there. And that was by Theodore Roosevelt. Believe that you can and you're halfway there. And I think if we're going to leave a message with our listeners and the teens out there who really want to improve, is that message: believe you can and you're halfway there. Add to that these tiny little moments when you can stop and look at your thinking and then see if that thinking is working for you or not. And if it's not working for you, change it. If it's working for you, keep doing it, and then celebrate your little tiny victories as often throughout the day as you possibly can. And it will cement that into your core, and you will rewire your brain, and you will live a better life because of it.
That's a great way to end.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. This has been a great conversation. I love the fact that we could potentially create change, even if it's in one person. That's important.
Thank you so much, Tony. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will talk next time.
Yes, love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining Tony and me in this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show. We hope you feel encouraged and motivated to grow with us. If you like what we do here at Pure Game, one of the best ways you can support us is by liking and sharing this video with your friends on social media. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel using the button directly below this video on YouTube, and you can donate at our website, www.thepuregame.org. And with that, we'll see you right back here in 2 weeks.